Hey guys, so this is my first video post, blog, whatever, for Health Isn't Hard. These will probably get a little bit easier as I learn how to do this stuff a little better. But I just wanted to say thanks for being patient, and yeah, here we go. I'll probably post uh, the written essay entry for this as well, but I figured it's easier to listen to someone ramble on than read a bunch of stuff and then maybe hit the written part later and see what you wanted to review when you have more time. So this post is called Who Cut the Cheese and What's the Deal with Being Dairy Free and Vegan Anyways? I, up until 6 years ago, I didn't have any dietary restrictions in my diet. I was actually just starting my exploration of cheese connoisseurship, if you will. Actually, the last cheese I ate was a 9-month cave-aged goat Gouda. I'm such a snob, but it was amazing and totally worth it. But like most people, I really couldn't fathom my diet without dairy or cheese of any kind. I mean, how did all these hippies do it? Or even more importantly, why would they voluntarily not eat something that's so delicious? I mean, come on, it's cheese. Um, so my whole adolescent and going into my adult life, I struggled with severe acne. In fact, I don't think I've got any pictures of me between the ages of 12 and 16. It was horrific. It was cystic acne, painful, self-esteem crushing. It was on my back, my chest, my shoulders, my neck, all on my face. I had routine appointments with dermatologists, and we did everything under the sun except have me take Accutane. In females, I'd argue that skin and weight issues are tied for what causes us the most stress and strife and self-esteem based anxiety throughout our entire lives. If it's not acne, it's wrinkles or sunspots or how tan you're not or cellulite or stretch marks, whatever. The list is literally endless. The older I got, the more manageable my skin issues became, and birth control definitely seemed to help quite a bit. So it was curious to me that something changed in my 20s that caused me to start having breakouts again. Hormones are in flux all the time, and I had a feeling that this wasn't just about my menstrual cycle or anything like that. But, being a curious and fairly headstrong child, I was, it just came naturally to me to want to seek out on my own what was going on with me. My first words that I strung together as a child were literally, quote, "Don't tell me." That pretty much says it all. Go figure. At the time when my breakouts were getting more severe, I was seeing an acupuncturist for something totally unrelated and had upped my skincare routine by seeing a very well-accomplished skin esthetician. And both of them told me in the same week that I needed to cut out dairy. I'm sorry, what? What? Why? I mean, I was devastated. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me. It's my favorite food." Shut up. Um, the dairy industry is a huge and complicated topic I don't want to get into in this particular post. You can write me directly from my contact page if you want to have a more in-depth discussion on the dairy lobby and protecting its own interests with zero regard to the health of the consumer or its cows. But that being said, just a little question to ponder. How do you think all these dairy cows produce milk all the time? One word: hormones. They're pumped full of hormones so they can meet the demands of the milkeries, creameries, whatever they are. They keep our grocery store shelves fully stocked with non-fat, skim, 2%, whole milk, buttermilk, sour cream, ice cream, yogurt, cream cheese, butter, Jack cheddar, American Parmesan, pecorino, ricotta, cottage cheese varieties, and so much more. Um, And my favorite question, well, it's really a two-part question. Can you name any other mammalian species that consumes milk after weaning, breastfeeding, whatever? Um, do that. And then secondly, I want you to name another species, another mammalian species that consume a different species milk. I mean, cats suckling dogs, dogs suckling goats. It doesn't happen. Promise you. It's only in humans. Not only do we consume milk throughout our entire lives, we're encouraged to, actually. Calcium, strong bones, blah. We're encouraged to do that, but we're drinking another mammal, another species entirely. It's ridiculous. And in order to do that, we pasteurize it, like crazy. We make it so it's not even its true product anymore. So that's all I'm really going to say about that. Moving on. Something that isn't new information by any means. The most common allergy to dairy is lactose intolerance. We've all heard of this. In case we don't know exactly what it is, I'll just give you the Cliff's Notes, pretty much. This is where a person lacks the lactase enzyme to break down the lactose sugar. When a person with this allergy consumes dairy, they experience mild to severe GI distress like excessive flatulence, intestinal pain, diarrhea, more fun side effects. Soy milk has been around for decades. This ailment definitely isn't new, and soy milk's been around to help alleviate not alleviate, but it's been there to satisfy a demand for people that were born lactose intolerant and couldn't drink milk. Anyways, the less commonly known but just as widespread allergy to dairy products is when you're allergic to the milk protein called casein, casein. The casein protein it's in a lot of animal byproducts. It's just a protein that exists. For me personally, I'd always been able to consume dairy and not have any digestive repercussions. So it was looking like I had a milk protein allergy. As I investigated casein further, I discovered that consuming dairy in general in excess was linked to a number of health issues. In many people, when dairy breaks down, it leads to an excess of phlegm in the body, and phlegm can be an incubator for bacteria that makes them more susceptible to illness and leads to inflammation, and then inflammation can affect hundreds of things in the body. Also, the oils from the milk solids, proteins, casein, inflame the pores, and the sebaceous glands, which produce oil. And when you're stimulating those, the oil gets trapped, and then you get more breakouts because you've got more oil under your skin. All of this is very basic, top layer information, and what I've talked about personally with skin estheticians and acupuncturists and other nutrition experts. You can definitely find out more on your own, doing a little bit more investigation. But since I'm not a doctor, dermatologist, scientist of any kind, this is very much, like I said, very anecdotal. So, moving on. Within 6 months of being dairy-free, my breakouts had significantly decreased, and my skin was starting to look amazing. Within a year, my skin had almost completely healed, and this was my first awakening into learning how what I put into my body had a direct effect on my external self. I started reading ingredient labels. A form of dairy, usually known as whey, another protein, whey protein, which you've seen in all nutrition, performance, muscle building supplements, this and that. I mean, it's in everything. Whey protein, it's almost in everything, even when you're not talking about that specialized athletic market. So this inspired me to start cooking for myself. If I couldn't get what I needed from the grocery store, it's like, well, I'm just going to have to make this shit on my own. Pardon my French, but, whatever. So I got tired of buying Bon Appetit magazine full price at the grocery store. It's like, $7 an issue, and then if you buy a subscription, it's $1 an issue. And I got hooked. The recipes, for the most part, were pretty easy, and took between 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on if you're roasting meats or making a sauce from scratch. But I learned a lot in that process, and it actually became pretty fun and was another part of this journey that I'm now on. So, turns out, shocker, dairy doesn't have to be in every single meal that you eat throughout the day. I had no idea. And I didn't miss it, which was even more surprising. But I really didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. My meals were amazing. Everything I made was delicious. Thanks, Mom, for being a good cook. So needless to say, I was hooked. And to this day, 6 years later, the dairy-free options for people have really exploded. And as consumers keep shifting their diets and demands for their dietary needs keep changing, the food market is responding. They're like, oh shit, like we've got people that there's a demand for something that we can provide. And I think that that's really important to note here is that we as consumers do drive the market of what we eat. So just keep that little nugget in mind. So there are 7 different types of alternative milks: cashew, almond, where's my fingers? Coconut, soy, oat, hemp, rice. I think that's everything. So those 7. Of those 7, several have different flavors. There's, vanilla, chocolate. There's sweet creamers for coffee that are hazelnut flavored. I mean, it's really, you've got everything that the dairy full person has access to. There's a vegetable called the cassava root, and it was discovered that when this vegetable became processed in a certain way, it mimicked the same melty and creamy quality of cheeses. So they were able to create a dairy-free cheese based on cassava root, which is essentially tapioca, and make dairy-free cheese. And I've eaten it. I've cooked with it. You can't tell. You can't tell. Shh. If I've cooked for you, you've probably had it, and you probably didn't know. So, joke's on you. Ghee, which is clarified butter, has been around in Indian cuisine for, well, not just Indian, Hindu culture for, I mean, who knows, for forever. Since cows are sacred in the Hindu religion, they don't use cow product and protein product. And so when you clarify a butter, you're actually removing the milk solids, the milk proteins, i.e. casein and other things, whey, and you're left with just the rest of it. I don't know what you call the rest of it, but it's called ghee, and it's very good. Also, vegan butter is a thing. It's really just a combination of vegetable, palm, and olive oils. I recently found a very expensive stick of palm oil-free vegan butter. Haven't tried it yet. I'm sure it's amazing. But I definitely want to use it sparingly because it's $7 for half a cup of damn butter. So, but anyway, there are options, and they bake exactly the same. They taste exactly the same. I mean, literally, there's no difference. All butter is a fat. All these oils are fats. So they have the same purpose in cuisine, and relatively the same flavor. Non-dairy yogurts are also very plentiful, and yeah. So we've covered yogurt, butter, cheese, milk. Done, right? Like those are the main staples. And from baking to basting, like these products cover all the bases. I mean, I haven't found anything in being dairy-free that I was limited to. Even ice cream. Cashew milk ice cream is probably, I would argue, better than the real deal. I'm serious. Like, hand to God. It's so good. It's dangerous. I mean, I could eat a whole pint in one sitting. Definitely not good for you just because it's dairy-free. Doesn't mean it's healthy. Still has a lot of sugar in it. But it's just that there are options for people, which I think is great. And, it's not about giving up anything. I want to be clear about that. I don't feel like I've given up or that I can't have anything. I've definitely shifted my perspective around that. I'm just making a smarter choice for what my body is able to digest and what makes me feel good. And because of that, I don't really feel like I'm lacking or being like, oh, like FOMO, like I miss cheese. Like I don't. I really don't. Sometimes when I'm in a pizzeria, nothing, I mean really like a true like buffalo mozzarella margarita pizza. If I were in Naples, I'd probably eat it because that's where pizza was born. But other than that, not worth it. So I guess I can have my cheese and eat it too, so to speak. Bad joke. I think that one of the things I noticed most when I gave up dairy was how my taste buds changed. Very quickly, I became way more sensitive to how sweet everything is. I mean, even now, I can't eat dark chocolate that's less than 50% raw cocoa because it's too sweet. I can literally taste the sugar and how much sugar is in something, and that's pretty remarkable. And that's going to be part of a series of another posts of my next post is going to be sugar. Sugar is a huge topic to cover, and I definitely can't do it in one fell swoop. So I'm going to be doing it in doses, sugar doses, sweet doses, and it's probably not probably, it's the ingredient that we eat more than anything else, that we overconsume more than anything else. And I think that it's really important to discuss that and to just bring some light to that. And it's not again, I don't want to say that anybody's doing anything wrong. The whole point of this space that I'm trying to create is just to bring awareness and just to bring information. Knowledge is power, as PBS taught us. Information can only lead us to better things. And I really, really believe that it's all good. You can take what I have to say, take it or leave it. I really don't care. I'm just here doing what I think feels good and what I think can help someone, anyone, all of us, me, I don't know. I'm the only one here right now, so I'm tired of hearing myself talk. It's been 18 minutes and 3, 4, 5 seconds, so I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble, and join me for the next one. All right, have a great time. Bye, guys.